All right, flower boxes. So my wife sent me a few videos on the internet, and I don't remember exactly which ones I got all these dimensions from. Hand me that pad of paper up there. So I'll rewrite this in a different format, and I'll include it in the video. But basically, one of these boxes, except for the bottom two pieces, is made out of two 6-foot fence pickets. I bought the cedar from Lowe's. This is the cutoffs that's left out of the 6-foot. So there's enough to clean up. Don't use the factory edge on the board. Clean it up, cut it first, and then you'll still have this left over. Out of each picket, you're going to get two 13-inch pieces, two 11-inch pieces, and two 9 3/4-inch pieces. The reason I've got 4 on here is because I did it for 2 pickets. The 11 and the 9 3/4-inch pieces are the sides. So these are the 11s here. These are the 9 3/4. The 13-inch pieces get ripped. So out of one 13-inch piece, you're going to rip them to get 1 1/4 inches. The 1 1/4s are for the tops and half of each corner. The other half of the corner is going to be about 1 7/8. Give me that tape measure. And that's really going to depend on the thickness of your wood. So here, this was the 1 1/4 piece. And then the thickness of this wood that comes out to 1 3/4. So if you want to have a balanced corner, you'd want to cut this one 1 3/4. So that last measurement for ripping the 13-inch pieces is really going to depend on the thickness of your wood and how proportional you want the corner to be. You can make them all 2 inches. You can make them all 1 3/4. It's really up to you and how balanced you want it to be. As you notice, you'll grab some pickets off the cedar pickets off the pile, and it's not 4S wood. It's all rough sawn. And I do all the corners first. I use 23-inch or 23 gauge pin nails, 1 inch long. I glue and nail all the corners. I do all the corners for all the boxes I'm going to build first. Then I put the long pieces, as you can see here, the long pieces into 2 corners, and I do the same thing. Brad nail and glue. And then I leave the 2 long-sided panels, this one with 2 corners, this one with 2 corners. I leave and let dry for a day. And then the next day I come through and I grab those panels and I add the 2 shorter pieces to them, and I do the same thing. 23 gauge nails with glue, 2 on the bottom, and I flip it back over and I do those other 2. And that'll give you your 4 sides. The tops, again, are made out of those 13-inch rips at 1 1/4. You want to miter these at 45. Try to leave them as long as you can. So these are just a hair under. These are 12 7/8. By the time I mitered them, they're a little bit. You take a little bit off the corner just to clean everything up. The frame of this ahead of time, let it dry. Then I put the frame on and I tack it with 8 tacks. I put glue just underneath it. So I put glue on the top of the end grain for each corner all the way around, and I put 2 23 gauge pin nails headless pin nails on each corner. So for a total of 8 at the top. The bottoms are optional. You don't really have to have a bottom in it. Most of the pots come big enough that they'll just float in here. Friction fit across the top. You don't have to put anything in the bottom. We've chosen to add bottoms to them. You can do this any way you want to. For 10 boxes, it's going to take 20 pickets. If you buy 3 extra pickets, you can cut extra lengths of 9 3/4 inches. That's the same as these short sides. They'll fit down in here. Now the pickets themselves will be too wide. So if I take 2 of these pieces down here, put them in here, it's too wide. So I ripped the boards down to about 4 3/4 inches wide. The leftover piece that comes off of the saw, from the table saw, I use for here, for just a cleat to attach to the bottom. So like I said, the bottoms are optional. You don't have to have them. That's just something extra I do, so it's going to add to your cost. So, you know, for under, between nails and glue and everything, you're under like $7.50 a box. It's just a matter of your time. So if you want bigger ones, just change the dimensions. You're going to end up using more pickets per, or you can buy wider pickets and just redo them. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. An overall inside diameter of about 9 3/4 on both sides. Outside, including trim, 12 7/8. And it's about 13.5 inches tall. The leg is about 1 3/4 inches. Pretty simple, nothing fancy. You can change any of these dimensions you want and really make it the way you want to. I'll clean up this and add it to the video in a snapshot so you can just screenshot it and do a lot of other stuff. That's pretty much it. Hi, Teresa.
Hi.